there are many pencils on the market. Let me show you some of them. There are pencils that use leads that look like this. And these are called technical pencils, by the way. And this happens to be a brand new set. Okay, and the choice brand is Staedtler. Staedtler makes technical drawing pencils and pens that are used throughout the industry, and this is the top brand. This is made in West Germany, actually, and it says Mars Carbon. Now, I don't know why they say that here. It says Mars Carbon because if I open these, and I'll attempt to do that, and I'll show you how these leads come. There's 12 of them, and they're 2.0 millimeter. And this is 2B, so this is equivalent to a regular school pencil, Ticonderoga or whatever brand you use in a school pencil. You see how when I push this button in the back, you see this lead can be withdrawn. And you can put softer leads in here, but right now this is only 2. The thing about this, they say this is carbon. This is not carbon. This is graphite. And the thing about drawing with graphite and shading with it, first of all, it's not soft. This is number 2. Okay? It's shiny. And after you finish your drawing, the whole drawing, if you have it the right way and light hits it, it has a shine to it, and it really degrades the drawing. So although I use this sometimes to come out with ideas, it does react with an eraser. You can erase it. It's possible to erase it rather cleanly, you know. But I would not recommend a technical drawing pencil unless you could buy, and you can't. I've looked all over in Thailand for leads like this that are made out of carbon, because carbon is a lot blacker and it gives you a nicer looking drawing. So here's another one. This is probably a bit more expensive, and this one is made by Rotering, and that's the next big German company. Look at the leads in this, see, same. But again, I can't find at B2S, which is the chief stationery supplier right near me, I can't find leads that are 4B. And you really need 4B for shading, okay? And again, you can see I'm pressing really hard, and look at the gray I'm getting. You know, it's nothing. So this is not satisfactory for you learning to shade and draw, okay? Because the darkest dark that I can get out of this, well, let's try, is like that, and I have to work at it just to get that value of gray. And I want a darker value. I want black. I want your drawings to be dynamic, okay? So these leads are expensive. I would think that this thing's 300 baht or something like that for these leads. And they're graphite. They're not carbon. I don't see any carbon here. So this would not be good. I want to show you some other tools today, and before I start with you. So these lead holders are great, and they feel really good, and you can point them. Now these lead holders have a special pointer. Now you can't use a traditional lead pointer like this. This has a razor blade in it, and it wears out. This is a plastic cheap one. This thing costs about, I would say 8 or maybe if you can get it for less, 6 baht. This is nothing. This is usually supplied free when you buy pencils. So this is not going to help you very much, and you can't certainly use these professional type of technical pencils with them. But you can use it with a regular carbon pencil. So when you turn this, and if you watch, the wood is carved away and the lead is carved away to give you a razor sharp point. Now what is very nice here is you see this gnarled part of this pencil holder. When you're turning this, it gives you a grip to turn the pencil. You don't need this part, you know. It actually retracts. I can loosen it, and lo and behold, the pencil will come out of here. Okay, but I'm suggesting if you can get one of these lead holders or pencil holders like this, it's a very nice tool because the weight on the back lets you let up on the weight on the front. So when you're just holding the pencil by itself, you learn to use it, but this gives you weight on top of your hand. So it's very, very good. So besides the drawing lesson today, I wanted to include this and talk about some of these tools. Okay, now this is cheap, and then this is more expensive. It might cost you 40 baht. Do you notice it's got a large hole and a small hole? So the large hole would help you if you were using these drawing leads that are very large. Let me show you a large drawing lead and what it looks like. Okay, here's a large lead, and the problem with this, it's also, even though I'm pushing on it right now, it's also graphite. Like a regular school pencil, graphite. So graphite tends to have a sheen to it. Do you know what the word a sheen means? It means a shine. And when this is held in the light, the drawing is sort of destroyed by reflections. So if there's any hot lights in a room, and you're looking at a beautiful drawing that somebody took all their time on, and it's done in graphite, it's a waste of time because there's this shine that makes the drawing really tough to see. So carbon is the answer. The carbon pencil is the answer. And these pencils are not expensive. This is the carbon pencil. And they're around, this is Stadler again, that German company, which is, there's two companies that are the top of the line, and this is one of them. So they make technical drawing equipment, all right? So this has a holder that you buy with it too. The holder is super expensive. It's 200 and some odd baht. And here's what it looks like. I'm withdrawing the lead right now. Now this lead looks black, really black to me, flat black. So possibly, I don't think it is, but possibly, I'm trying to get through these jaws here. These jaws extend, and these are what give you the grip on the pencil. So when I work with this is a carbon lead. And it allows you to get really deep tones really fast if you want them. Okay? So I could use this to make my drawings. I really like it. It's very nice. It's expensive. This is made by Koh-i-Noor. Koh-i-Noor is another German company. Do you ever wonder why the German companies make all the good stuff, right? But you know what, it's true? Japanese companies make equally good stuff. So with this lead, I can actually put it in the large or the small pointer, and I can turn this. And do you see the carbon coming up? Now this will get your hands really dirty, and it'll start getting all over your desk and everything. But I am sharpening this. Look at the point on it now. So this little aluminum sharpener that probably costs about 100 baht, maybe 80 baht, could be 50 baht, okay? The one sharpener that's my favorite, so I showed you the cheapest one, and this is the next one. This is made out of aluminum, and it has 2 blades, and you can even sharpen a crayon. You could take your crayons, if you have any crayons left, and sharpen them with a large hole like that, okay? And then this is fun. This is made by Faber-Castell, which is another German company, but I really like this one, okay? This one collects all the dirt inside a plastic container, and it folds. See, it closes like that and opens, and then you put your lead in, and of course it doesn't get all over your drawing, which is the hard part. And the razor blade, even though it's this is rather cheap, the razor blade happens to be very good. So look at the point on that now. That's a great drawing tool, okay? So today I've discussed drawing tools with you. When you buy some of these carbon pencils, or regular pencils, you get this. It's a little plastic cap. And what it does is, let me use the sharpener that doesn't throw it all over the drawing. So when you put this wooden pencil in, it shaves it, and all the shavings are saved. They don't come out, and they don't go over your drawing. And then you have this plastic cap that keeps the point in good order. See? So this is cool. This is really cool, because when you want to draw, you don't have to start and looking for a sharpener to sharpen your pencil to be ready to actually go into action, okay? So today I've shown you a number of tools. You've learned about a lead holder. These leads are very expensive. They're about 90 baht a piece. But they're great when you're in front of a lot of people and you have an easel up with big paper and you're drawing. They're great because the line, first of all, this is carbon again. This is not carbon. You can see the way it shines. See that shine? Okay, the carbon doesn't shine as much. And you can do a nice drawing with this. And you can sharpen it with either sharpener will sharpen this. But I prefer this one by Faber-Castell. This is easy to get at B2S. I sound like I'm making a commercial for B2S. But it is the only, the reason, it's like going to Central. It's the only stationery store, and not office supply, that has a great variety of drawing instruments. So later on I'm going to show you how to use a compass and templates and other things that will help you draw. Listen folks, what makes me different than most people is that I really care about my tools, all right? And I don't, if you came over to me and say, Mr. Harper, can I use, well, normally I don't like to share my tools with anybody. I keep my tools in really good order. If you bought a plastic box like that, you could keep your drawing tools in here. And here's something I don't know if you ever saw. This is white lead. This will fit in the holder. And when you want to put little highlights in when you're drawing jewelry, I use this white lead a lot. Of course, this is just an eraser. But if you get yourself a little box like this, which you can get at Central or someplace, I think a box is nicer than a bag for all your equipment. White lead will allow you to go back into your jewelry drawing and put in highlights. But this lead is very hard to find. You have to find a very fine art store. So how many of you ever heard of the school Po Chung? I used to work there. Po Chung is a painting and drawing school. It's not expensive. It's the Queen School, but it's so hard to get into it. They jury your work. What does it mean when I say they jury your work? Well, what it means is they look at the caliber of you as an artist. They look at your work, and you have to satisfy them before you can get in. That's even before you can pay for it. Now, it's not a lot of poor kids go there, but the kids have amazing talent. And I was working in the metals department with my friend over there, who's the metal teacher. He's the jewelry teacher at Po Chung School. It is the most famous school in Thailand for art. So there's Siprakon. There's a lot of other schools that teach art and teach jewelry, but Po Chung is the most famous school, the most prestigious. It's over 100 years old, okay? So anyhow, I was there for a while, and the kids' work, if I took you over there and showed you the jewelry, I mean, you would your mouth would be open if you see the kind and quality of the work these kids have and make. And these kids are going into the profession of making jewelry. They're going to be commercial jewelers, and they're going to be able to easily to get a job because they're really talented. And the teacher is a young guy, and I wanted to work with him for free. But because it's Thai, and it's the Queen started this school, and it's over 100 years old, they don't have any Farang people working there. But I wanted to go there because I'm in love with beautiful art. And those kids at Po Chung make beautiful art. You'll see painting and drawing over there that will knock the teeth out of you, you know. Your brain will explode when you see the quality of the work at Po Chung School. Now, this is in Ban Mo, and there are many art stores across the street from the school, and they have everything. They have every kind of paint, every brush, everything there is. And that's where I bought these white leads. They're impossible to find. And if I went to B2S, even B2S, which is pretty good, they don't have anything of this quality. They don't have this kind of stuff. This is pretty exotic in Thailand and pretty hard to find. But you know what I realized? I realized that you kids are not shoppers. And I've been a shopper since I've been in Bangkok. I know more than Thai people on where to buy anything. If you tell me, Mr. Harper, I want to buy different colored feathers, I know the feather district. And if you told me, Mr. Harper, I want to buy leather, I know where to buy a whole cow if you want it. I know where to buy all kinds of leather. I'm interested in making things. So since I've been here 35 years, I've been running around on my motorcycle in Chinatown, discovering all kinds of places to buy stuff that you don't know about, your mother doesn't know about it, and even if your father and mother are Thai, they don't know about it. So I credit myself with knowing Bangkok and knowing where to buy anything. And so get yourself a little plastic box like this to keep your set of tools in, because we are going to do a whole unit on drawing. You're going to learn jewelry when you're in class, and when you're home, you're going to learn drawing online with me. I want you to buy a carbon pencil. And I hope I'm right about, I didn't buy this at B2S. I bought this in an art store next to that school I told you about, the Queen School called Po Chung School. And you can visit it. And that would be a great Saturday for you to take your mother and father and go down to Ban Mo. And the principal is very nice. And you can walk around the school and watch the students work. they're there on Saturday and Sunday too. They're so committed, those kids. And the work, well, it had me with my mouth open when I saw the jewelry, and then I went to painting and drawing and looked at the painting and drawing at Po Chung School. Now the problem with international schools, they don't know all the resource that's in Thailand. So your teachers, if you have a Farang teacher or a Thai teacher even, they won't know to send you down to Po Chung School, but you should go down there. If you love art, check out the quality of art coming out of those kids who are in college. They're college age, and it's a 4-year school before you get a certificate. And you can get a certificate in jewelry there. I gave you a lot of tips today, and please write them down in your vocabulary book, and if you're thinking about going into arts, you should know these tools that are available to you, okay?